If you have important creative work, a book, a research project, or an entire body of artistic work, you know that making progress is demanding. But many of us were taught that demanding requires suffering. Give me the next few minutes and I'll show you where that false connection came from, how it actually makes progress less reliable, and give you a simple framework for orienting yourself differently the next time that suffering connection kicks in. I also have a resource called Why Is This So Hard? Self-Check, 5 questions that will help you identify ways that you may inadvertently be making the creative adventure harder than it needs to be. Drop self-check below and I'll DM it to you. I'm Christine Karen, founder of Good Jelly, and I work with people who care deeply about their creative work and who are unsettled that it's not moving forward the way they want it to. Here's what most of us were handed when we decided to take our creative work seriously: an approach built on one equation: effort equals output. When progress isn't happening, the only solution is do more, push harder, recommit, escalate, and repeat. That process alone causes suffering. And when creative work still doesn't move forward the way we want it to, that approach has only one explanation available. The problem is us, not the approach, us. That's when demanding and suffering really get locked together. So let's dig into what's happening. First, it's important to acknowledge that this traditional perspective that progress requires force and buckling down is a little bit wily because it seems to work at first. For my clients, force does activate them into action, and that's seductive. Action feels good. Action makes them feel like they're at least doing something. The problem is that action isn't coming from their instinct or their wisdom or their creative authority. It's a conditioned response to a false premise that more force is always the answer to every slowdown or block. But when they catch themselves before automatically adding more force, they regain a choice they didn't have before. And that moment is the opportunity, an opportunity to drop the habitual conditioned response and orient yourself differently. And it's the start to that simple framework I promised you. The first move is to catch yourself in the pattern, just like my clients do. Notice when that urge to push harder kicks in. Not to judge it, just to see it for what it is. The second move is to pause. Give yourself some space, not a spiral, not a panic, just a moment of genuine spaciousness where you're no longer inside the grasp of that habitual response to add more force. And the third move is to decide with all the data you have in front of you in the moment, what is the next right action to move your creative work forward. Then do that thing without pressure, without force. This shift may seem small, but it's actually a power move. Actions designed from your creative authority, completed one after the other, take away the suffering because that kind of pattern puts you back in charge of the work. When your creative authority is the guide, not only does suffering go down, but progress becomes more reliable because you're working with yourself instead of inside an approach that was never designed for you in the first place. That's a different relationship with your creative work entirely, and it's available to you not through working harder, but through leading your creative work differently. Remember, drop self-check below to get the Why Is This So Hard? Self-check. It will give you even more ways to rethink how you've been relating to your creative work.